Hello, this is a video about diversification. Why do I do these videos? Well, uncertainty creates anxiety, but understanding helps create confidence. And the future will always be uncertain, but your financial decisions don't have to be. Now, for over 30 years, I've seen the same questions come up over and over again. Will my money last? What if the market crashes? Am I making the right decisions? How do I stay calm when everyone else is panicking? And many more, all to do with uncertainty. Now, my videos are to help answer these questions for you. And today's questions is, how do you avoid losing all your money? Now, most people have heard stories of people who've lost all their retirement savings. It's terrible. And the media is full of stories like this. A recent one is First Guardian. It was a super fund that went bust. Everyday Australians lost about $500 million. Now, it was allegedly fraudulent and the money was siphoned offshore. Regulators and ratings agencies missed it. Investors had a choice of 3 investments and had to pick one with this First Guardian. So they had all their eggs in one basket. So how do you avoid losing all your money? Diversification. It's not about making more money. It's about reducing the chance that one bad investment changes your life. Now, diversification doesn't stop bad things happening. It stops one bad thing becoming a disaster. What is diversification? Well, if you put all your eggs in one basket and it breaks, you'll lose all your eggs. So what's the answer? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And what does it actually look like? Well, if you've got property, have them spread around Australia, not just in one place. Spread your money around to different banks. And with shares, have more than one share. You can see this graph here shows you if you've only got a couple of shares, the risk is very high. And the more shares you've got, the less risk there is. So if you've got 40 shares, it's a lot less risk than just having one. So don't rely on just one investment. Have many. Doing this gives you options for emergencies. Now, you can plan for every contingencies, but emergencies do happen. Let's say one happened and the market has just fallen 25%. Do you really want to sell then? The solution is more than one investment. Now, let's say you find termites in your house. It's going to cost $25,000 to fix it. Where do you get the money from? Fortunately, you have more than one investment. And because of that, there's a good chance that one of them will be up. And if you've got even more than 4, it's an even better chance. Now, the average super fund looks like this. Okay, got a bit in shares, property, cash, fixed interest, etc. It is diversified, but it is just one fund. Now, the other way to do it is this in a separate fund, 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 and this in a separate fund. And now you have 6 funds. Which one do you think would be safer? My experience, having it all spread out is safer. There's less ups and downs if you've got a diversified portfolio. So you can see here there's all these squiggly lines, but this dark green one, and all these squiggly lines, Australian shares, US shares, property, fixed interest, cash, they're all up and down all over the place. But if you have a combination, you can see how it's smoother, but it still goes up all right. Let's talk about diversification on steroids. Now, you don't have to stop with shares, property and cash, etc. Even shares, within shares, we can diversify even further. For example, there's large companies, small companies, value companies, and they all tend to do well at different times, as you see this graph here. And see, these two were going up when this one was coming down. So by having a combination, it just gives you more options, and you smooth out the ride. Risks and downsides, well, you still get some ups and downs. It is more complicated. You can still lose money, just smaller amounts. Benefits, there's less risk of losing your money, less ups and downs, gives you options if you need it. And here's a quick story to highlight that. One of the investments we used lost $80 million recently. Now that sounds terrible, and it is, but the fund is worth around 3.5 billion. So this 80 million wasn't a huge portion of that. And this investment is only a small part of the portfolio we use. For example, one of our clients, this $80 billion loss worked out to be a $900 drop in his portfolio. But the portfolio has still got strong returns. And over the last 3 years, this guy's averaged about 8% per year, despite this terrible thing. So in summary, we can't stop markets falling, we can't stop recessions, we can't stop companies making mistakes, but we can stop any one event from changing your retirement. That's why we diversify. Would you like to know more? Well, you can visit my website, give me a call, or have a look on my YouTube channel. Here's a general advice warning. Now, this one's a simple galvanized version. The presentation is for educational purposes only, not telling you to go out and invest in anything or do anything. And the information is reasonably accurate. Some poetic license has been taken, just to a small degree, for explanation purposes, to make it easier to understand. And most importantly, get advice from an expert before doing anything. Now the next one is the official version. I'm not going to read this one out, but if you want to read it all, you can pause the video here. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. And remember, uncertainty creates anxiety. Understanding creates confidence. Thank you. Have a great day.